Heyo, bad boys. Welcome back to Normies Like Us, the podcast that reminds you it's hip to be square. Dive in, normies. Today we're talking the King of the Deep, ruler of the seven seas, one of DC's original big ones. I can't believe we're doing this. Jump on your seahorses and give us a hell yeah. It's Aquaman on another episode of Normies Like Us.
You that fish boy from the TV?
It's Fishman. As king of Atlantis, Aquaman protects all the world's oceans.
My man!
I feel like I never really embraced the sea or the land. Could've just peed on it. Permission to come aboard.
What's taking so long? I must return to Atlantis.
Hey, yo, bad boys, welcome back. What was that voice we just heard? It seems like back from the dead, we're joined by Joe.
Hey, you know what? Rising from the depths. Is that right, Joe?
There you go.
I think
it is.
Aquaman himself came back from the dead.
Yeah,
so,
happy 2019, Joe. Happy Norm year.
Happy Norm year.
Yeah,
fellas.
happy to have you back, man. We're back. The triple threat.
Oh, the Trinity.
Yeah.
The
original
Triforce.
The Trident
Yeah.
is here, right?
That's right.
Shit.
And we're going to be diving deep into Aquaman, as we said. How about that? All these ocean puns. I am ready. I've never been more
Pun
ready.
game is so strong in
We're just going to
2019.
ride the wave, man. I'm telling you.
I missed it. I missed the pun game.
I'm ready for it. I think Joe kind of perfectly just set the tone for this in that he said, I can't believe we're here. You know, this is one of those characters where you think, like we said, he's an original DC character. He's one of the big guys, although we'll talk a little bit in the comics, not actually an original DC guy, even though he is one of the big main characters that they have. But is this a character you ever thought would be a normie?
Oh, absolutely the fuck
He
not.
feels like such a wet blanket, you know?
God damn it. I mean, can we just talk about how
He's a soggy bottom boy.
we have done an episode on Batman
Yeah.
and Aquaman. Mm. We haven't done Superman.
Right.
We haven't done Wonder Woman.
Ooh,
It's
Arrow through my
Aquaman.
heart.
Yeah.
Green Lantern, Green Arrow, all these big boys.
All people, I would argue, are way cooler than Aquaman, no matter how hard we try with the Jason Momoa era.
Yeah, he definitely is not the A-list coolest guy in the DC universe, but somehow with this movie box office, he seems to be now the most likable
He's
of
the most
the
profitable.
Snyderverse,
You
right?
just nailed it, Mike. I mean, look at this, guys. As of today, as of recording this today, James Wan just confirmed Aquaman has reached $1.1 billion gross total and is now the highest grossing character based on a DC comic book.
Yeah, eat your
My
heart
God.
out, Dark Knight.
So now, yeah, they made fun of him. They mocked him. One day he will rise. It's time for Aquaman to be more relevant than ever, 2019. It took him this long to be the coolest dude.
I mean, we're old enough. You guys remember Super Friends Aquaman.
Yeah.
The guy who would literally ride around on flying fish on each foot. Yeah. Boop, boop, boop.
Yep.
Hey, guys, what are you doing? Like, moist, just got out of the shower. And they'd be like, oh, hi, Aquaman.
Yep.
He looked like a Nazi's wet dream. He had blonde hair. He was silly. A silly white guy.
God,
Yeah.
Arthur's here again. His
And-
name was fucking Arthur.
King Arthur, get it? Oh, man, yeah, he's a little bit of lame baked in, just talking to fish, you know, but Mamoa somehow makes him seem cool, and we're going to be talking all about the weird origins from the 40s all the way in the comic books to the movies and the TV appearances, TV shows, pilots, you know, that maybe failed, succeeded, and the video games, so we're going to be doing
Bizarre
that.
video games.
He has a very
bizarre.
weird and tumultuous history, let's say, and I think finally he's, you know, the wave is breaking on the coolness of Aquaman, it feels like. So we're going to see if we can convince you that maybe he doesn't suck as much as you've been believing your whole life.
Yeah, so let's get in the trenches and get going here.
Oh, yes.
How about this? We jump on some impressions. Let's do this, guys. Let's do some Jason Momoa hell yes to see who's the most badass Aquaman. And tell me this before you do yours. Do you like Aquaman? Let's set that up for this episode. Do you like Aquaman? Me? Growing up, I didn't even like Namor. You know what I mean? Like, this was just not... These were not characters that I enjoyed. I did not like Aquaman.
Aquaman's cooler than Namor.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
He's the better of the two fish in the mainstream,
Yeah.
but a fish is a fish.
You cook them. I don't think Aquaman's that cool. Like, you know, I'm not a Marvel fanboy. I'm not a DC fanboy. I'm just a guy. You know, I'm more normie here, you know, when it comes to the comic book stuff. And I always was just like, fucking Aquaman talks to fish. Hey, whale, what's up? Like, but then you think like he can command an army of great white sharks. And then it sort of feels like, you know what, maybe I didn't give him enough slack. So I think with the James Wan thing, it's Jason Momoa. He's very likable. I watched the movie, not to get too much into it, but I liked it. And I like this new Aquaman. He feels like Thor. So.
All right. Well, Mike, hit me with a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, Joe, hit me with a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, my man.
All right, let's dive in, guys. Let's talk the comics. Let's talk Aquaman.
Aquaman, swift and powerful monarch of the oceans, with ability to summon and command all creatures of the deep. Aquaman, who with his teenage ally, Aqualad, guards and defends all that lives in the seas against the forces of evil. Aquaman, king of the seven seas.
Joe, our comic guy is back. You're our normie here. You're our comic guy. Aquaman. What's the niche? What's the normie with Aquaman when it comes to the comics?
All right, so we'll start here from the beginning, which is always a good place to start, right? When you think of Aquaman, most people think DC Comics, not the original take on the character. He was in More Fun Comics, issue number 73 in 1941. How about that name? More Fun Comic.
MFC.
But I mean, that's what this bullshit was. Detective Comics. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
They failed because they had one too many initials. You need to have just DC.
Yeah. Tie it all together. You know, it can't be all this Tales to Astonish, Tales of Suspense, Tales of Adventure. Come on.
Amazing Fantasy. I mean, they all started somewhere. And, you know, he got his take fighting the Nazis and talking to fish. It's something that we've seen, you know, even Namor with the invaders. For some reason, these heroes were always, I mean, they're pulp heroes, right? So they were in wartime. That's how he started, just like the rest of them.
Like Captain America. And I know you like your Nazi punching heroes, so this is this in your wheelhouse?
I mean, I've never read that issue. I've only seen a couple screen grabs. It's one of the ones that's actually a little harder to track down because I think DC kind of stops people from finding these pre-DC stuff.
This is sort of like, not to again bring it to Captain America, but it's a hero who started, you know, outside of what the company they're known for. Like, Captain America wasn't Marvel, right? Neither was
Marvel. Didn't even exist.
Exactly. Same thing with Aquaman. He was fighting, you know, U-boat captains and stuff, and like I said, it's pulp. So that's maybe the niche origin. Is that he was fighting Nazis and not even part of the DC. DC wasn't even a thing.
And I mean, can I just say, kind of an easy myth for that era, though, if you think about it, like the tale of Atlantis or underwater people. You know, you had H.G. Wells talking about 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. You had something like, look at even like something new like The Shape of Water, where he's like the god of an Amazon. Or Joe, you love that Indiana Jones where he goes to Atlantis in one of the video games.
I mean, it's Atlantis will be in pop culture from now until the day we find it. Like, people love,
please.
You know, I mean, it's the same with like Egyptian mythology and Greek gods, right? Like, this stuff's never gonna go away.
It's been around. People have been fascinated by the idea of a lost, hidden underwater society, and they just pull this to the forefront with this goofy fish talking guy.
Goofy fish talking guy. Who, I mean, I would also say the niche is any comic that is an Aquaman comic, not a Justice League comic, before Rebirth. Because Rebirth, they really made a push, which, you know, if you're not familiar with comics, Rebirth is the new DC line where they just started from scratch again.
Right.
They knew he was a popular character in the movies. They're obviously pushing him harder in the books now. But if you know, like, the Rogues Gallery for Aquaman, that's, I would say, pretty niche.
Yeah, barring seeing the trailer, having seen the new movie, I know who Black Manta is, and I've seen pictures of him, but I cannot name a single other Aquaman villain.
Did you know Ocean Master, at least?
I didn't even know Ocean Master.
See, and he's like one of the biggest.
But guys, from Super Friends, you remember that big head, you know, Legion of Doom coming out of the swamp, the whole panel going around. Okay, Bizarro opposite Superman. Black Manta opposite Aquaman. You guys remembered and knew that as kids. That everybody had these dumb opposite. Oh, what's that? Yellow Green Lantern?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So how about you hit us with the origins then? What is Arthur Curry? How does he become the titular Aquaman?
So, I mean, it's, you know, the story we've seen a million times, right? It's the boy who never should have been. His dad, surface dweller, his mom, Queen of Atlantis. They get it on. And then you get the bastard son of Atlantis, who later becomes king.
But he doesn't fit in either world, Joe. Where is he going to find common ground?
Wow. He's a fish out of water?
Oh my God.
Exactly.
I've been sitting on that all week. But yeah, I guess they revamp these origins like they do and everything. But yeah, basically he's half Atlantean, half human. And then he has a half-brother, Orm
the Ocean Master.
The Ocean Master, there we go.
That is the I want the throne battle, which, you know, obviously is heavy hit in the movie, but he's in the comics, basically the same character, I would say. There's not too much different.
No, back introduced in the Golden Age when he was the Ocean Master, you didn't really get that familial connection. He was just a general in Arthur's army who sort of wanted to overthrow him. It kind of wasn't until we get into this New Age and even some Jeff Johns stuff where we're getting more and more family ties. Atlanta has more kids. Mara, his future wife, is a daughter of Zeeble, which is a different tribe of Atlantis, which has their own problems against the main city of Atlantis. You get all that weird, built-out, even wider Atlantean myths, which I found very fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. And you have Aqualad and Temptress. Tempest. Yeah, that's right. And like the water manipulation stuff, which is a power that he doesn't have that some of the other characters do. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and like let's talk about his power set then, because he talks to fish, but he can swim like at 2 miles per second. Like he's like the fastest thing in water. He's super strong. I guess his body has this density to survive on the crushing pressure of the ocean floor.
Yeah, he's essentially invulnerable.
He's picked up buildings. Like he's actually really strong, and it's stuff that you don't think about because he just telepathies, some waves to a fish. But
well, yeah, and he's such like a goody two shoes in all of the media.
He's so milquetoast.
My man.
And let me ask you this, Joe. Namor has that weakness in the Marvel universe that he has to be wet currently. I don't believe Arthur has it. It's really more physiology based. He is just purebred Atlantean.
If they do have it, it was retconned out a long time ago, like before the 90s and the extreme era, because he would go months and months without going back to it.
And he can go toe to toe with Superman, basically. A guy who has a weakness of kryptonite, magic, all that weird stuff that Arthur really doesn't have.
No, but a familiarity with magic, because there is the war between the Amazonians, which is Wonder Woman's people, and the Atlanteans.
And I think, he did used to have to touch water every hour, like in the early days, and they realized like this is just
we're not
this is too inconvenient.
Owning to that promise.
Yeah,
I mean, basically, when you take a character like that and you move them into the Justice League or the Justice League of America, or even briefly Justice Society of America, he's not. You can't have that. You know what I mean? You can't be like, oh, sorry guys, I was enjoying this meeting, but I gotta run back to the ocean real quick. Or,
where's
someone get me a glass of seawater?
Embarrassing.
He just sits in a hot tub during all the round tables. But
it's a power move.
He could just make the suit like they had for Hellboy.
True.
They're just a water fluid suit. But anyway, that's not cool.
Joe, you mentioned the rebirth stuff. So he's kind of gone through a physical change in that. Would you say he's looking a little more like our main man, Jason Momoa, now?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they... Well, he is and he isn't, right? You can't... They haven't taken away the blonde. He's still blonde.
And Momoa's got blonde highlights in the movie, but he's not full blonde.
Yeah, he's still basically full blonde.
And we know that extreme version of Aquaman from the 90s, the one-handed badass who had the long hair and the beard. It's
and
not
a hook
like
hand,
this is new. Yeah, it's
the hook hand too is like such a tragic story. He's trying to save, I think, his kid.
Oh no!
And he has to like cut off his hand to escape, and the kid drowns.
There's a couple versions. There's another one where the villain steals his powers and then makes piranhas eat his hand off. That one's also very interesting. But I think this is my favorite look, was like, because I remember like you go through the comic store, I wasn't buying these, but you'd see him on the cover with his hook hand and his long hair, and that feels like what they're capturing with the Momoa one, is like the beard and the gruffness. He still has both hands, though.
That's basically how he looks in the comics now, but with both hands.
Okay, yeah.
So there was also like once they got over the extreme era, the total justice era, I like to call it, because they had that line of action figures, if any of you ever saw those. They decided they would give him the clean cut look again, but in continuity he had still lost the hand, so he had like a hand made of water essentially.
So he was kind of doing some of the water bending too,
a little bit, but I don't. From what I've read, and again, this is a character who's like definitely one that I'm less familiar with. Like, it's not Batman. You know what I mean? Right. It's not...
But he's best friends with Batman. He lifts him up and says, "Who are you? What are you doing here, Ben Affleck?"
I dig it.
I dig it. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think even with, like, the Aquaman-Namor conversation, like, Aquaman gets points over because there's the drama of, like, I want to connect the two worlds, whereas Namor's like, nah, fuck the surface, I am the king of Atlantis.
Namor isn't a hero. That's why he's not ever going to be good. He was on the Invaders, he did all that stuff, but as a guy, again, who loves Fantastic Four, he was introduced as an asshole who wants to destroy the surface world. He is the ocean master of his world.
Exactly, but he won. he's the king.
Great point.
If they ever bring him into the MCU, I think they should just do him as a villain for Black Panther.
Oh, that's fucking genius.
Two kings of hidden kingdoms.
Make it that he's got to come up and destroy Wakanda that's, on top of Atlantis.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, all this pollution
you're fucking
from
with
your
our technology. Yeah.
Damn, Jinx. Good work, guys.
Yeah, they're causing a pollution problem. But yeah, I love the hook hand look, and then he kind of keeps the beard sometimes, but they clean his hair up in later editions, right? But
Well, again, as a Marvel fan,
all right,
he's a blonde guy with a beard, missing a hand, just like Thor was like 2 years ago. I understand that Aquaman's done it first, but, it's just these guys were both kings of a foreign world. We come to, our Earth, essentially, quote unquote, coming up to Earth, as fish out of water.
What kind of horse is this?
Yeah, I don't know. It's so close.
Well,
I mean, it is, but like these, they're characters that have existed congruently for a
Thunder
long time.
and water.
Yeah. And like all the God Killer stuff with Thor and like the loss of the arm and stuff like that, that was way after DC had done
No,
it.
Aquaman gets it. Full points to it.
Yeah, you got to give it to him there. But even, I mentioned Rebirth with the popularity of Jason Momoa. Even before that, in the New 52, they were making a big push with Jeff Johns, I think.
Look, Jeff Johns is the master with the New 52 tale, Throne of Atlantis, which has been adapted as a movie, which was just adapted as basically his solo movie as well. He made him a stud.
Yeah,
people loved Aquaman.
And that was, he didn't just rework him. He reworked the way they did the Justice League book. Basically like Batman was left to Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, and everything else was Jeff Johns. The Flash.
Flash Rebirth, Green Lantern Rebirth.
Yeah. Oh, Green Lantern too, yeah. And Justice League. He did that one as well. So, like, it makes sense that he was chosen to head up Marvel Studios for a while, and that he had... Or Marvel Studios, sorry. DC Studios. Sorry, Snyder truthers. Don't get mad.
we're going to get that Marvel check in about 4 days now. Good job, Joe.
That's all we talk about.
Yeah.
But how about his other big property that he basically helped reinvent, also stolen from a different comic world, taken into DC? Shazam, Joe. That's going to be completely based on Jeff Johns' New 52 run.
Well, and that was again great. I'm going to put a button on that because I definitely want to talk about the future of DC's when we get to the movies.
Copy that.
But yeah, the New 52 and Rebirth have both been massive expansions for Aquaman and a lot of other characters in the DC universe who are not Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman.
Yeah, he gets to be the star of event comics now, Joe. He got to do one a year ago, Drowned Earth, where everything... Ooh, I'm sensing some bitterness
Heavy
there.
sigh.
But he got to be the stud of the event. You know what I mean? We haven't seen that in so long. You get Flashpoint with the Flash. You get, Brightest Day with Green Lantern. Aquaman, name another event that he had. He's been a big key component in those. In Flashpoint, of course, when he was an evil general, like you said, going up against the Atlanteans.
Yeah.
He fucking... Mera gets decapitated by Wonder Woman in that, fucking
It's
insane.
dark, yeah, that's
super dark and gritty.
Crazy stuff with the Flashpoint universe. So I have a bone to pick with event comics in general. I'm sick of them. We don't need them. Stop doing them every month. When you do an event every month, it's not special anymore.
Definitely. I agree with you there, but you need something to build towards. Unfortunately, I think you do momentum-wise in comic books. I would argue you don't in movies. A lot of people who are maybe worried about the future direction of DC films, but with comic books, hey, Superman's doing this, Batman's doing this, but maybe a year from now, I agree, not every month, what if these clues were linking together to something like we see with the Watchmen stuff that they're doing now? I fucking eat that shit up.
Every once in a while, sure. But has there been a good event in DC or Marvel since 2007?
Especially not Marvel.
Or
comics,
WWE, where there's a lot of universes.
There we go.
I look at it like that, where it's like, you have a pay-per-view every month or an event every month in the comic world, and it's like they just stop having significance. It's like you have three.
Mike, that's so true.
Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam. That's it.
I haven't cared about an event book in DC since Crisis on Infinite Earths. It's just not necessary, man. Like, it pulls away from other books. And DC is slightly better about it than Marvel because even Metal and Drowned Earth are two events that were huge. People ate them up. People loved them. I didn't really care for either one of them.
I hated Metal.
They're both written in part by Scott Snyder, who is a writer that I adore, but they really feel like it's him dying to do something other than DC for a while. If you listen to our Stephen King episode, he's one of the only comic book writers who has worked with Stephen King on books. He does original creator-owned titles sometimes, and both Metal and Drowned Earth have that vibe of like, this isn't the real world. This isn't
it's
regular.
indie. I see what you're saying.
It's just something off the beaten trail. Like, Drowned Earth is essentially a book where everybody gets fished.
Like turned into fish? Like
in
Cronenberg into...
Yeah, they get Cronenberged into fish people as the world drowns, and Batman and Aquaman have to figure it out.
There are crab people, though, right?
There are... Flash becomes a crab person.
Oh, crab.
And
Joe, what's this kind of remind you of as Marvel fans? Spider Island a little bit. Yeah.
And I hate Spider Island, too.
I know you
Like,
do.
I hate
That's
Spider
shocking.
Island. I hate Drowned Earth. I hate Metal. And, like, Metal, a lot of people love, man. If it's your bag... I'm not knocking that you enjoyed it. It's just less special to me to have these things happen all the time. And again, I think DC is better about it because Metal didn't really affect anything other than...
It's just a fun offshoot, really.
Like with Marvel, it's like you get the fucking Secret Wars and now all of our universes are one universe. And it's like, why?
With Marvel, they are so much more desperate to get you to pick up the publication because they have so much more trouble with the comic sales that it's event.
And I'll tell you, like, Secret Empire, if you would have done Secret Empire as a Captain America run, it would have been great.
Yeah.
Doing it as a company-wide event, it was terrible. And I feel the same way about Drowned Earth.
Well, so where are we at right now with the character then? You're talking about Drowned Earth as this event, but where are we on the current continuity of Aquaman? What's he up to?
Okay, so Drowned Earth just ended, and as an event, there were not only the solo books, the Justice League books, but the Aquaman books as well. That wrapped up, and he lost his memory.
Oh, see, Joe, there's consequences that'll last for a week.
Yeah, it's a way to reboot Aquaman right when the movie comes out.
And he has died before, so it's not like... Yeah, no consequences.
So you've got amnesiac Arthur, I'll call him for now, who does not realize that he's Aquaman, but knows he's special, like that type of thing.
I was hoping that he goes to the surface, joins the Old West, and becomes Arthur Morgan.
I love that.
Plan.
We saw Batman. Bruce did that 2 years ago in a Scott
in
Snyder
Batman
run.
RRP.
Yeah.
It's like a soap opera, though. I lost my memory.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Became friends with Joker for a little
frustrating.
bit.
It's you know,
maybe he'll become best friends with Black Manta. Maybe we'll get to bury some beef.
I wouldn't be shocked. The cool thing about it, and I think this is also affected by the movie, Mara has gotten a really elevated role.
Guys, she's getting a solo.
And we haven't really talked about Mara, right? This is Aquaman's wife. She tried to kill him. They
Not
decided
Aquawoman. How cool is that?
Right.
She's just Mara. Like, don't fuck with her. She is just
badass.
as powerful, essentially.
Yeah, she's sent to kill him and decides, no, we should bone.
Yeah.
And he's like, Aquaman is one of the first comic book characters to be married, right? He's like,
oh yeah,
a family dude.
And it's nothing that, like, you know, it wasn't a big deal in like the way it was with Batman and Catwoman, where it's like put out forever, or
no, he's got it on lockdown.
Yeah, it's way more than anyone else. Like, it's not Clark Kent and Lois Lane, will they, won't they, you know, Batman and Catwoman. It's not like that. It's like Aquaman and Mara, they go together. That's the way it is.
And they can battle like they're equals. Like, it's kind of an interesting dynamic as far as superhero relations.
Yeah, so she is holding it down in Atlantis right now, and she's getting her own spin-off book, which makes a lot of sense based on the direction they're taking the character and the way she's portrayed and liked in the movie by fans and really critics. A lot of people liked her performance. So.
Yeah, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, Mira, very important. Is there anything else we want to touch on in this world? Because we mentioned his rogues gallery. If we're really going to, audit Aquaman as a comic book character, we know his powers. We kind of know where he comes from. We have his wife. We talked about Black Manta and Ocean Master. Is there anything else?
Yeah, does he have good, sustainable villains to sort of... And I kind of worry about that about future films as well. But yeah, just in the comics world, Mike, it really gets down to a lot of royal squabbles. It's, what if this guy from Zeeble we've never heard of before was actually the seventh son of this person and has a claim for the throne of this?
It's bureaucracy bullshit.
Yeah, it's a lot of Atlanteans fighting Atlanteans.
Which is another problem with like Black Panther comics sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a Lobo goes underwater for some reason and has to fucking pick off an Atlantean, and it's like a fucking, Lethal Weapon-esque. The two of them, like, what do you mean you're after one of my people? Who put you up on this job? Something like that. Tie me to like some crazier cosmic villains. I would really love that for Aquaman.
And it is tricky you have to take people underwater, and that's, you have to find
or pull him up. Yeah, you kind of got to balance the reasoning.
A way to get around there, but it could be done.
What's the purple dude, fish head, 3 eyes, Despero?
Oh, Despero for sure.
Despero, yeah. That's something, I guess.
Yeah, bring him down. He probably has gills.
Yeah, it seems like he would have gills. Another cosmic DC character who looks like he should be an Aquaman villain anyway.
And in the, Justice League, Steppenwolf goes down there because he doesn't give a shit about breathing, you know?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, which we'll get into that too. But I think I have completely opposite opinions on Justice League versus Aquaman. But the other thing too is it's interesting because it reminds me a lot of Wakanda. Not to bring a Marvel thing back here, but yeah, you have an isolated country with more advanced technology than anything else. They don't even need to go to the surface because they're like, what do they got?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to
we make our presence
because they're characters that are. I mean, it's the same thing with like Namor
and Royal Squabbles
and Aquaman, Black Panther. There's so
Thor,
many characters.
Namor.
Thor, Wonder Woman, even like there are a lot of characters.
Even in their own pot. You're right.
Yeah, I mean that's just a common theme in comic books is the society, the hidden society, essentially.
I guess so. Yeah, you got hidden powers, hidden societies, right? The obscured, Atlantis itself is that concept of the mystery of this other society. It's not quite as good as the Gungan society, but it's about as equally fleshed out.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this real quick, just while we're talking the comic portion. Would you guys like his powers? I'm not sure I would ever want to go underwater or do any of that stuff.
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't mind swimming.
Really? Oh,
I wouldn't want them if they're the only ones. You know what I mean? If they're like, you could have like Green Lantern or Aquaman powers. Which one do you want?
I would take
Green Lantern.
Yeah.
I mean,
would you be comfortable going underwater, Mike?
I mean, I'm the guy who lives in California and doesn't go to the beach. So no, I mean, if that was my power set, I'd be like, well, make the most of it. Yeah, let me.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take superpowers if you're offering them, but like,
I mean,
are there any other ones available?
I like sharks, so that's cool. But honestly, being super strong and like having a sick bod and saying "my man," like hell yeah, dude.
But how about being the guy in like City of Industry, California? You're on the 405. You need to use your superpowers. It's that point where they're like, you have to get wet to do it. And you're walking out, you get out of your car and you say, hey, can you spit on me to a stranger or something? Or,
pee on it.
Yeah, pee on me. Or do you have any like Pepsi that you could just drench me in?
Yeah, it's like it becomes walking tall.
Yeah, I'm not positive I'd love that.
No. I would be talking to people's goldfish and be like, hey.
Yeah, I would like that. I guess I'd like to talk to sea creatures.
Right.
I don't know.
Let me just have a chat.
I'd rather be Aquaman than like Plastic Man. I'll say that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want like a weird stretchy power, or like I don't want to have anything that like makes me look different.
Yeah, or just
like,
physically.
Yeah, like I don't want anything like that.
Yeah. Well, you get to be a king and you get to age at a slower rate. So if you're into outliving all the people you love, you could have that.
I don't know if I'd like that either.
I don't know. That's why I don't get the immortality vibe.
I don't know, guys.
It's a blessing and a curse. But I mean, I think definitely there's some nuance to Aquaman that you don't think about on the surface level. It's being able to control armies of whales and sharks and stuff, that can be super badass. And if you put lasers on their head, that's also equally good. So,
all right, where does Aquaman stack up to you on the Rogues Gallery list with just DC characters? You got Batman, Flash.
Obviously the top two.
Yeah, undoubtedly. Where do you go from there?
Green Lantern, of course, sucks because, again, it is just people in other multicolored disco
it's the Power
outfits
Rangers.
of his own. Exactly.
Other
Thank you, Mike. And I love Green Lantern, but that's the sad truth of it. Black Manta's fucking cool.
I like
David Hyde, out for revenge, a pirate, uses the technology. Like, that's fucking, he's a human who fucking hates Aquaman and like fights him in his realm. Can you imagine if I picked a fight with a shark and then was like, I'll fight you in the water, bitch?
Yeah,
no, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, meet me in the water, dude.
Yeah, no, dude. So I what do you guys say? Like other characters, Wonder Woman, she just fights gods. She is lucky enough to have the cheetah as that best friend relationship, but that's her Black Manta. Aquaman has that covered too. It's exactly the same in my mind.
Yeah.
But these rivers don't run deep.
No. I mean, you got Ocean Master, Black Manta, Mantis Blade, like other C-listers. I mean, I think Superman might be a little above him.
I love Superman's rogue.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely put him on the bottom half of the originals rogues gallery.
That might be what's weighing him down.
A hero's only as good as their villain.
Future hope for DC Comics, guys, over there. Start pumping out some awesome people for him to go up against. I think that would get people more excited. They love this character right now.
They're gonna need to do it. Now's the time to strike.
Give me a Killmonger. Since they do that all the time anyway, of just like, this person's coming for the throne, do it and make it, someone that's really going to be formidable.
Yeah.
And build them up.
Yeah. Well, what do we think about then also the other aspect of this, sidekicks? Aqua Lad, many Aqua Girls, and Octopus, his dolphin first love.
I wanted to save this. I want to give you a Young Justice spoiler real quick, Joe. But it's only because it's the first episode even, and it's a setup for the background of the world. So I apologize, even listeners. Spoiler for Young Justice Season 3 Outsiders, if you care about that. Calderon, Aqualad, is now Aquaman. Arthur has retired. He is now king. Calderon wears the armor. He just goes by Aquaman. It's awesome.
Wow.
Huh. How cool is that?
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I don't know
I think he's got a really cool sidekick. Young Justice made me love Aqualad.
Aqualad has the in the Young Justice universe, the powers of Temptress.
Controlling water, making like water weapons.
Of the water and stuff like that, which is, water swords.
He's a
That's
waterbender.
pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, that's pretty rad. Well, let's go ahead and jump over there then and talk about some of the TV, movies, and the other media of the Aquaman world.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man.
All right, guys, we're back. We're talking Aquaman in multimedia. We're talking shows. We're talking films. He's had some weird appearances. Like I said before, DC's Throne of Atlantis. That was his first animated feature. I mean, that's a solo Aquaman movie. It's Justice League, but it's Aquaman.
It's mostly Aquaman, though. The DC animated movies, if you haven't checked out any of those, a handful of them are on HBO Go. All of them are on the DC app that has the Young Justice show as well. You got to check these out. They are really, really well made, and they really go a wide spectrum of interests and characters.
They cover a lot of cool comic books.
Yeah, from what I understand, the strength of the DC franchises up until this new film we're going to talk about has been the animated side, and the feature theatrical has struggled to save Aquaman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, we've all obviously thought about that with Batman, the animated TV series.
Come
on,
yeah.
That's the best
Mask
thing
of the Phantasm
all time.
is a great movie.
Mask of the Phantasm, the best of all time. But starting with Justice League War, they did this weird New 52 kind of inspired universe. The post-cred scene of it was, because Aquaman's not part of the Justice League in the New 52, who's this guy walking out of the water with blonde hair? Oh my god. Boom, Throne of Atlantis follows it, and it's dope.
Yeah, it's really good. And then we see him in the Flashpoint movie that they did, where we get the alternate reality version. That's really fun.
Yeah. And Throne of Atlantis, directed by Jay Olivia. He's a storyboard artist. He works at DC Animation. Guys, he's a storyboard artist for DC movies. He did the Zack Snyder movies.
Yeah,
he did Man of Steel.
afterwards.
He did BVS. He did Justice League. I mean, the guy who did Throne of Atlantis has a hand in these Warner Brother films.
Wow, I didn't even realize that. And we need to mention, we didn't mention in the comic book section, but Aquaman is a founding member of the Justice League in some continuities, too.
In a decent amount of continuities. In New 52, no.
Not in New 52.
Because that's really like one of those, like,
Martian
we're getting a
Manhunter
band together.
Yeah, other white guy, get out of here.
Yeah,
But if we're talking
we
the
need some
origins
diversity.
of the great factions in comic book history, he was pivotal in that.
Oh, for the first one, he went up against Starro.
Yeah,
the
he was
reason the
fighting
Justice
Starro
League
in
formed.
Justice League number 4.
And that's without Batman. That's no Superman 2. The Justice League didn't need those clowns.
No, I mean, it was like the Avengers, you didn't have your heavy hitters in it. You had your kind of other characters where it's like, if we put them all together, maybe they'll sell better.
Yeah, like DX, we'll just stack all these weak guys with one headliner.
Yeah.
But, and then, speaking of the Justice League, that gets us, we have a Justice League movie eventually. There's been a lot of, animated films as well.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the DC, or the Justice League TV show, because he wasn't in that at first either.
No, he doesn't pop up until season 2. And Joe, you explained it earlier. He gets his own awesome storyline. We see Orm in that as well as the Ocean Master. And we see him cut his hand off. This, they changed from the comic. His son does not die. They keep the child alive. But we get that badass Aquaman going forward for the rest of that universe.
Yeah, and they kind of mixed it. They made him shirtless, green pants, hook hand, and an attitude.
Yeah, he has some great one-liners, man.
Captain Hook Aquaman. I mean, that's pretty dope. I love it.
I'm putting a lot of those quotes in the opening song for this episode because there's some really funny ocean puns. It's right up my alley too. I like this version. He's got the hook hand. He says dumb stuff. Yeah, it's great. It's a great version.
Well, if you want the ultimate dumb version, though, if you guys have ever watched Batman Brave and the Bold, and that's an adaptation of the comic.
His little fish?
Yeah, I mean, he's a goofy guy who says things like outrageous is his catchphrase, and he loves fish and chips, and he's, oh, Batman.
Is that tuna salad?
Why does he eat fish and chips?
Because he's a bad guy.
It's weird.
I guess he's on a seafood diet.
Yeah, that's all he should eat.
A banned episode of that show where a bunch of the female villains are singing a song about the heroes, and they make an allusion to his small dick.
What?
Where they're like, oh, he's got a limp fish.
Once again, Aquaman's a joke.
Whoa, that's why they banned it?
Yeah, well, it was well, there was a lot of racy stuff about the Flash finishing first, and it was kind of wow,
why did they?
this?
But they didn't go the fish sticks route. I mean, come on. He does fall in love with a dolphin. Don't forget it. His first love is
that I did not.
His first love is an actual dolphin, I think, named Nira. It's a dolphin, and he's raised by dolphins in some storylines. And then that dolphin falls in love with another dolphin, and he's all heartbroken about it.
I'm gonna kill that dolphin.
I
hope
not
it's
kidding.
one of those things where he heard the
mammal.
dolphin and couldn't see her, and then he fell in love with her voice. You got mail.
And thank God, because he has the power to control all marine life. Thank God he didn't do some really creepy, you do bend to my will, right?
Yeah,
so he was a
Weinstein.
good guy, but he accepted the rejection. So good on you, Aquaman. But
let's jump into this. So what do you guys think of the Aqua Mamoa character? Because when people say, he shouldn't be funny, he shouldn't be outrageous like this.
Release the Snyder Cut.
Release the Snyder Cut. The Brave and the Bold is that goofball cornball. We've talked about how the 90s total extreme, as Joe keeps calling it, is the badass, Mamoa version, essentially. And the leader of the Justice League, the nice guy, he's kind of always been that in the comic books as well. So I don't really know what you could want more out of him other than if you were someone who loved the Aryan race and said that he certainly must be a white guy.
He is not blonde.
Yeah. You're one of those guys who literally lectures people who says that Snake Eyes is a white guy under that outfit. I'm always like, Jesus Christ, who fucking cares?
Who cares?
Yeah.
Here's my take on it.
Yeah.
One, it's the character that I feel, except for the hardcore, fans of the DC brand, people have the least stock in him. So they can take the most
He's malleable.
risk. Yeah, no one's really invested. No one's going to get offended, except the diehards, So if you jazz him up...
But even the diehards are into it. The diehards are for Mamoa.
And that's probably because on the new Aquaman movie, I have a discrepancy between Justice League and his standalone, but he's almost the best thing they have going for them besides Wonder Woman.
I wouldn't even say besides Wonder Woman. I feel like this is the first time they got it right.
You think they got it right?
Opinion, yeah.
I feel like in Justice League, he is not that fun. He's so gruff and Bruce Wayne, get the fuck out of here,
So let's jump back. BVS. Ben Affleck is at a computer. He's typing away. His girlfriend, Wonder Woman, just sent him an email of, I'm sorry. She's at the computer. He just sent his girlfriend, Wonder Woman, an email of all the security footage he stole.
You?
Is this you? Who are you?
Who it is?
... Is this you? Yeah. Question mark. Very goofy.
The FBI is just reading it like, oh, okay, got the metahuman.
She clicks on one that has a little A on it. It's Aquaman. He's underwater. It's Jason Momoa.
It has Aquaman's logo on it.
Yeah.
That movie.
Yeah.
Well, the organization created all the logos because the Cyborg logo, the Flash logo.
It
they have
might
videos.
as well as say.
But how dumb is
Aquaman
this?
Cyborg. Yeah.
How is this dumb when you see this? Because he's in a little hidey hole.
I love it. I did not love
Oh,
it.
his little hidey hole appearance where it's just like, oh, fish boy.
And he comes out and he's like, camera, and he just stabs it with his trident.
It's so weird because as we move further into the universe, he doesn't know his mom at all. Like he's raised on the surface with his drunken dad.
Yeah, and
he
he's not
doesn't
like a
know.
skittery underwater
He's
weirdo.
not like, camera,
Yeah.
what is that from the surface world? Unknown, must destroy.
Unless he was like hiding a body. It's like, what do you?
He's down there like shooting up
Yes.
meth and just doesn't want to get seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's forgot to close the door.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a very weird scene to introduce him for sure.
Not our favorite. So then we jump to Justice League. He's been teased. Now here he is. He's in a Norwegian village or Icelandic village. Yeah, he's a drunk. He's a my man. He's a badass.
Look,
He's cool because he
Aquaman's
drinks.
casual. He wears jeans.
He wears
Do you remember
he wears
that?
jeans in the water, which is the coolest thing on the planet while he's swimming. He has a big chain for his wallet because you know Aquaman ain't about to get jacked. And he kind of wears a fur coat when he's talking to these people too.
Like
And
Tyler Durden.
Yeah.
Coolest
and in
guy
my
ever.
mind, he looks so much like Roman Reigns that I'm just like,
Dog.
can I root for this dude?
I literally saw a picture of Roman Reigns and I thought it was an Aquaman article.
I get it.
I was like, wait a minute.
I get it.
Put him side by side. That's-
Roman
he be
Reigns,
the brother?
The Rock, Jason Momoa, they might all have some sort of like mythological background. They might be some sort of Samoan gods that came to our world
It's
to
just-
star in movies. I don't know.
Do you remember when
That's their superpower. High charisma.
Or like Loki, they're just tricking us. They're living amongst us.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, so do you remember after BVS came out and everyone was like, "Wow, that was not very good," and like everyone started to get mad on the DC fanboy side, and they were so desperate to get everyone back on board that they invited, I think it was like 25 writers and bloggers and critics to the set. Way before the movie was done, just to be like, no, it's going really well. It's cool. Aquaman's really cool. He's casual. He wears jeans.
That's right.
That's what we knew about that movie going well.
People wrote
He's really
that
cool.
afterwards.
He's casual. He was wearing jeans.
Flash is quirky and Aquaman is casual.
wears
Yeah, I remember
jeans.
thinking, whoa, what a cool world this is going to be.
It's like, if you guys ever try to explain who I am to someone, I hope you're not just like, he's
Just
casual.
casual.
He wears jeans.
He's casual.
It's
He
just
wears
like,
jeans.
oh yeah, okay. That's a guy.
Yeah. It's the whole Wikipedia article. Aquaman. He's casual.
He's casual, but he shirks responsibility.
So and
in
he's
Justice
I
League.
swear there's a scene where he's pulling a guy out of the water while drinking whiskey.
Yeah, I
And
believe
then he
so,
pulls it down.
yeah.
And he's like, "This one's on you, ha ha, my man."
Yeah,
man.
I love. I'm disenfranchised and shit. It's like, okay, I've seen this archetype. He's not fun, but the best scene in Justice League is when he sits on the whip of lasso of
Guys,
truth.
Yeah, when he has the
It's
lasso of
the
truth.
best.
That's the
fucking
only
scene.
fun scene, and
when
that's the
he
best.
looks at Wonder Woman and calls her a total babe and says like, "Girl, oh girl,"
And he's
that
like-
is the best.
Not that any of this matters because we're probably all going to die, but and he's just like saying how that's a good bit, and that's the only thing I like. But even his outfit, it's like got the blackfish scales, like it just looks too. It's too Schneidery. It's just so dark.
badass,
Dare you,
dude.
Don't you ever.
You're right.
Roman censor. Well, okay. How many points should my trident have? 7, 12?
40 fucking 5. So here's the
And
thing
you're
about
like,
that movie.
well, I don't know.
I think it's 3.
Justice League is such a terrible, terrible movie.
Yes.
And it's sure Zack Snyder's fault. Sure.
Oh no.
The blame lands on you. Zach.
Yes.
But it is also
Sure, it's Joss Whedon's fault.
Joss Whedon's fault.
Yeah, yeah.
I am not
That's
a
true.
Joss Whedon supporter in this argument. I think the movie was a total wash from the get-go.
Nice
Nothing
pun.
was going to save it. The way they started everything out, it was like destined to fail.
Yeah.
But Aquaman rides a monster down a building while going,
Aquaman, the only thing, guys, we haven't, other than the scene in BVS, met this guy. If you're a casual fan, you just know he rides things. He rides the Batmobile, says, oh yeah. He rides Cyborg, says, my man. He rides the Parademon, says, wahoo.
Yeah.
What does he do?
He likes surfing and shredding gnar, bro.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. And drinking.
Yeah.
A bottle while wearing jeans.
I wear my tightest jeans. I get the biggest bottle they got, and I go shred some gnar. I don't care if it's the perfect storm out there. I'm Aquaman, bro.
And then we get some brutal final fight scene of basically just him and Wonder Woman weapon to weapon with Steppenwolf and his weird mega axe, while Superman comes in and fucking just murders everyone
just
because that's what he's able to do.
They fights in Atlantis too. Steppenwolf's down there having an underwater battle.
Terrible.
Yeah, that whole movie is absolutely terrible. But I liked Aquaman in it. I'll be honest. Even though he's like a try-hard in it, that whole movie is a try-hard, so you gotta just kind of let it go.
Yeah.
He's the only thing that tonally matches
I don't mind the
it.
Flash. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind
they
a lot of
out as characters.
Yeah, I really don't mind a lot of the elements there. They were just put together in a terrible way by two people who shouldn't have been doing it.
And they were just in over their heads too. It was a huge rush job.
Absolutely.
And I have
Jeff
real
Johns,
issues.
he doesn't get off the hook either.
Yeah.
You know?
I got issues with Cyborg a lot because he looks like garbage.
I love Megatron.
Have you seen the Doom Patrol appearances for him on the DC
With
show
the
that they're doing?
looking cool.
He looks better than he did in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing a live action Doom Patrol show, which has Brendan Fraser in it. If you're a Brendan Fraser fan,
If you want a Mummy episode, shout us.
Please.
please.
Which has one of the best video games of all time, Mummy Demastered, but I'll talk about that later.
Send us that mummy check.
So that movie is terrible. I forgot what I was saying.
The Doom Patrol. We're talking about the Doom Patrol.
We're talking about
show.
Doom Patrol.
And Cyborg wears
I got
tracksuit.
so worked up over Justice
Sorry.
stuff. But Cyborg's making an appearance in that, and he looks better on this fucking DC streaming service show than he does in the movie. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's a huge gaffe. So I think we're where we're at on Aquaman and Justice League, but the real thing now, $1 billion Aquaman standalone solo movie.
We've watched it, guys.
We've all watched this one.
Seen it. It's been a while since we've all seen the movie we want to talk about.
First, tell me if you loved it. Tell me if you hated it. But I should say, Jason Momoa has done press. He's done the rounds on this. So let us know what you think, fans. He himself says that he considers the Zack Snyder cut the lead-in to Aquaman, not Justice League.
Really?
Do you want it? Let us know. I don't know how I feel about it. So, I don't know. Just reach out to us. Give us your opinion.
It's too late, man. You got to move on. Everybody's just got to move forward. Yeah. And if Aquaman's our place we're moving forward from, I'm excited. I'll be honest.
Oh, okay. So you liked it.
Aquaman.
You liked it. Mike, did you like it?
I liked it, and I predicted it to be a shit.
Yeah.
Just because, what are you going to do with Aquaman? He sucks. I was wrong.
Yeah, I liked it. It's nuts. It's fun. It's goofy.
So fun.
It's the most fun DC movie.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Here's the thing, is it even though it opens with like Oscar Wilde once wrote, which is the same as like, do you remember when Batman vs Superman opens with like what falls is fallen, and it's like Jesus Christ, what the fuck? It still opens with one of those moments, and I groaned out loud. I was like, oh my god, they're gonna do it again. This is gonna have some weird biblical or poetry wraparound that like people think is deep, that's not at all. But then they just ditch it.
Yes, but Jason Momoa and James Wan can kind of come together to balance that melodrama in a way that Zack Snyder just kind of could not.
Yeah, agreed.
And we're going to be getting into maybe some potential spoilers. Just know that going forward. And if it made it $1.1 billion, you probably have seen it if you're listening to this.
You love it. And I'll tell you why it did well. Fucking... everybody wants to bang both the leads of these movies.
Yeah.
Let's say it. Jason Momoa is hot and Amber Heard is hot.
They are both very attractive people.
It's insane.
I love redheads.
So,
do you guys like James Wan?
I love him.
He's a genius. In the horror world, what he's done, he's a genius. Guys, what he did with digital effects to survive Paul Walker's death to the Fast and Furious franchise is groundbreaking and incredible. And he gets screwed again with VFX stuff with Aquaman, a movie where they had to digitally create how to do it.
Yeah, that's one of the most technically proficient things about this movie that I think people aren't giving it enough credit for. It takes place underwater. You know, people are
Name a movie.
underwater, and it is not silly.
Yeah,
I
besides,
mean, like it is silly, but the fact that they're underwater doesn't feel silly.
and they lean
Other
into it.
things
They
feel
lean into the silly.
Yeah.
How did you describe it to me, Joe? You said because James Wan Connect. I want you to be able
It's
to.
the Fast and the Furious of superhero movies. It is
Totally
I do
right.
love
wildly
that.
fun.
Hell yeah.
It's wildly fun. It's melodrama about family.
Yes.
And it tonally makes me so mad that we've waited this long to get something like it. Because even Wonder Woman is a fine movie, but it is not as fun as Aquaman.
I choose love.
You know, I mean, I
yeah.
really hope that 1984 is more fun and Shazam looks like a fucking ball. But if this is the direction DC movies are going, I'm actually really excited.
Hell yes.
We had the Dark Knight, like we had the Grim Dark, and that's great. Like, but
He'll be back.
Yeah.
We're getting more Batman.
Also,
that's-
but here's the thing that really just grinds my gears. It keeps me up at night. We have an Aquaman movie that's this fun, that has this much stuff going on, where you get Black Manta and Ocean Master and Mara, and there's all these great action scenes, and it's so great. Where's Batman? Like, we haven't had a Batman one yet. We get Batman in Batman vs. Superman, where he's like fucking quoting the Bible and cutting his face like a
Crying all the
serial
time.
killer. Like, why can't we just have a fun Batman movie like we had a fun Aquaman movie? I want it.
what do you think is
fun movies?
the most fun Batman movie that we do have? Just a quick sidebar.
It's got to be Arnold, right?
I mean,
It's
that's
just
the goofy.
That's what I would call
Yeah,
fun.
it's fun.
You know, I mean, yeah, obviously there's the best of the best
Yeah,
of
but
the
it's
Batman
still
movies,
good.
but
You know,
fun.
it's still got to be
Yeah.
good. I would say the goofy fun one, the best goofy fun one, I would say is Forever.
Okay, got it.
Jim Carrey, you know.
As the Riddler and Poison
Yeah,
Ivy and
Completely
Bane.
unhinged, yeah.
No. Poison Ivy and Bane.
Oh.
That's with Arnold. It's Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face.
Two-Face,
And,
that's right.
yeah, Jim Carrey is the Riddler. I think that's like fun enough. That's when Joel Schumacher first took over. But like, if this is the energy they're bringing in,
Yes.
I want to see Batman. I want to see Shazam. I want to see Wonder Woman. I want to see
This
every
Justice
character
League?
like
Yeah,
this.
yeah. These guys having
like
a
I
good
want to see
time
James
together.
Wan. James Wan.
Yeah,
Justice
James
League.
Wan, he's the franchise maker, Colin. You've said it before on the cast. Like, he just does it. The Conjuring universe,
Fucking does
Fast and the
it.
Furious. Now he's revitalizing the entire DCEU, man.
Yeah. Let him and fucking Patty Jenkins just do everything they want from now on.
He's the chosen one.
Talk about the technical masterpieces. How about the long shot in Italy, right?
Oh,
Where the
yeah,
fight
so
scene.
cool.
So fucking cool.
And they got these, like, sweeping crane or, like, drone shots. They go, like, yeah, it's...
to separate the action, to pull in between two people in
Tell you,
such a way.
I love the
Fantastic.
transitional effects of going from the ocean to the aquarium in the beginning.
Very cool.
That's really inventive filmmaking. That is cool.
And then he talks to the Slytherin shark. You know, he communicates with that shark.
Can we go?
Yeah.
Let's just go beat by beat for this.
Real
movie.
quick, let's run through
We don't
it.
have to say everything that happened, but let's just keep on track from the beginning. My favorite part of the movie is the first 10 minutes where it's splashed with Nicole Kidman.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, I gotta say real quick, I would love to hear your opinions on this. De-aging actors, throw it out.
I'm
This
against
to me was the worst it ever looked. She looked insane. I've had some complaints about Kurt Russell in Guardians before. Just cast their kids or people who look like them. That's what they used to do in 90s movies. You would hear things where you would be like, you know, that's actually Sly Stallone's kid playing him in this young Flash. And you'd be like, oh, fuck, they look exactly the same. This is great. Like, don't smooth their faces over.
I would say
to
with her, you don't
video
even have to
games.
do it because she's a queen of Atlantis, man. Like she
She can
looks
look
how she
however she
yeah.
fucking looks. She
There's
couldn't.
no
She doesn't
reason
have to
do that.
age.
Yeah.
Because Dolph Lundgren looks a little goofy, too. But they're
Tamora
Atlantean.
Morrison, her husband, the Thomas Curry character, looked insane de-aged. Willem Dafoe, in the flashback scene that we'll talk about in a sec, when he's diving in the water with the eyeliner, looked insane.
I think when he's in the water, it
Dafoe
looks
always looks
fine
insane
because
out
he's
there.
in the water.
Yeah.
When he's on the beach later, it was like, oh no.
it was very
But yeah, we got Splash with Nicole Kidman. I,
I
think
love
it's
Splash
fun.
with Nicole Kidman. She throws a trident at the TV. She
Don't eat
eats
my
the
dog.
fish. Yeah, like it's. Oh, I've never had tea before.
There's a
That's
couple
fucking
interesting
fun to
things,
me.
yeah.
it's fun and cool.
And then like the bad guys, you know, the putties show up, and
Oh,
she's
dude.
just like, bam, bam, bam.
That is so perfect.
Buddies show up.
Because I saw this review and the guy's like, it's just, if it was a Power Rangers movie, it would be perfect.
It
Because they
would
are like
be.
putties. They got
Yeah.
these weird armor
And they
suits.
just show up out of nowhere.
There's like-
they just
Mara
like,
puts
blow
in
through the
green.
wall.
You know, Arthur puts on orange at the end. If they'd put masks on too,
Dude,
fought their
there's a
purple
giant
ocean
monster.
master. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
I
then the
would've loved
putties
it.
show up, and then she wrecks house and is like, I gotta go, it's not safe.
But even that fight choreography
was awesome.
is
But timeline
awesome.
that out for me, just real quick.
So-
Because Arthur is the older child. So they have each other. She said she left because she did not want to be betrothed and forced into a marriage with King Om, which is King
Right.
Orm's father. So she went back. He probably raped her. She
Or
had
they-
a kid, and then she got sacrificed to the trench.
Yeah, I don't know. They might have done like
she had a royal duty kind of bullshit, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, Atlantean technology. I hope she wasn't raped.
I
Tiny
hope
fucking
not.
pray to
that
God.
way.
I just think, isn't that weird?
Yeah.
And also that Patrick Wilson's supposed to be younger or younger than Jason Momoa is insane.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
is clearly 20
Yeah, he
years
keeps calling him
older.
little brother, and it's like,
Yeah.
are you sure?
Yeah,
Are you sure
it
about
It
that
is
one?
Thor. He's got a little brother.
Yeah,
he's
he's
a fucker
low-key,
that wants
man.
the throne. Oh, jeez. But yeah, so he's born, and then she has to go back, and then the younger brother, Orm, and then he is in line, but technically, the right of the throne is
He's a piece of shit, though.
Arthur.
By
Arthur
being
Curry,
a
yeah.
half-breed.
Yeah, he's a half-breed. He's the Daywalker. Or different movie.
Yeah,
Hell
basically.
yeah.
Yeah, my
he's,
man.
He's a mudblood, right? He can't
Yeah.
control the throne.
Jacob's not here. You can't be saying Slytherin and Mudblood
Sorry,
so much.
man. It's just
all right?
I
that-
love it about him. You know, again, this universe has made him very. We've seen Superman become sort of a Christ-like figure as the only child not born through science on Krypton and Man of Steel.
Yeah.
We have these really cool characters
Doesn't
in
that-
the DC universe
Doesn't it
now.
drive you up a wall that Man of Steel, Superman breaks the bad guy's neck at the end, and Aquaman gets to smile and make jokes the whole
Yeah,
time?
and tell his brother that he loves
fucking
him.
insane
It
to
is
me.
so weird.
Like,
Yeah.
I loved the idea of Aquaman. I'm not saying it's a great movie.
No.
Like, I'm not saying that at
I had a
all.
lot of problems with the story and stuff.
Oh, the
too,
script
but
is the script is pretty
looks
bad.
great.
The script is definitely the worst part in my opinion.
There are scenes, we'll talk about it later, but like the scene where he gets knocked out in Italy and then they wake up on the boat, like 10 minutes goes by without dialogue because you like really don't need these characters to talk a lot.
They're just slamming action figures.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I loved the amount of action in this.
Yeah.
It is action packed, and I think that's the way these movies should be.
Yeah.
Not every movie has to be of some big fucking religious allegory. Like they're
character study.
superheroes, man.
How does Batman feel about it? You
But
know?
like you could make that in an exciting way. Like there are a couple moments where like the dialogue isn't great, but the emotion and thought is there of like, you know, I always wanted a brother and I missed you, and then he's like, "No, I fucking hate you. Let's
Yeah,
fight in the
you're
ring of fire."
disgusting.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of character drama. Like that's a lot of stuff that you know it feels good to have that development, but also it's a fun fucking movie.
Yeah. And I mean, so she goes back to Atlantis, and then Arthur grows up, you know, soon to be King Arthur.
And we get the pirate fight.
And we get the pirate fight, and that is amazing. And
Where he's permission to come aboard.
he's got like a guitar. Yeah, permission to come aboard.
Then he kills all those pirates beats them up, I guess, in
Yeah.
like the goofiest ways ever. Like you
Yeah.
bitch slaps one, he bends a guy's gun,
He's throwing, you know,
whatever the
porthole
hole
covers
is. Yeah.
down and like holds the guy's gun FPS style.
Yeah,
Until-
that first person Doom shot was
Yeah, very insane.
And then-
Until Black Manta's dad decides to blow himself up, and Arthur kind of says, "You guys aren't worth saving because criminals aren't
You
worth
got yourself
saving."
into this mess.
Can we talk about that
I was
moment?
like, "Whoa, interesting."
I watched that happen, and I was like, "Oh, he's really not going to do anything." Black Manta's literally like, "Please, come on, man,
I'm
come on, man, be
begging
cool.
you."
This is my father. Don't let him die." And he's like, "Man, fuck you. I'm late for happy hour, my man."
He just
And
slow turns.
slow turns and goes away. And I was like, "Oh, okay, that was pretty fucking weird." I bet he'll learn a lesson later in the movie. Cut to later in the movie after he fights Black Manta, and he's like, "Oh, you know, I kind of feel guilty. That guy thinks I killed his dad, or I'm to blame for his dad, and I made an enemy. My bad."
You kind of did,
And
though.
and Mara's like, "Huh, the past is the past, dog."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, you're right. That's it." Like,
Yeah.
why did you have to, like, why couldn't it, you know, when he shoots the thing and all the shrapnel flies at him, why couldn't that have just killed him?
yeah.
Like, why did it have to be Aquaman making the decision?
No, he truly
to be like,
it was the
"No, I'm letting
birth
you
of a
live."
supervillain.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, the dad pulled out a grenade and said, "Leave me the fuck here, son."
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, I expected when that moment
He would have
happened
pulled the.
that it would be like oh, he learned a real lesson as to why he shouldn't have done that.
Right.
That's why they let it happen, because otherwise he should have just died. The big lesson was Mara going,
Fuck it.
Past the past, man. Can't change it. And him just going, yeah, you right.
Yeah, shit happens.
like,
Okay.
oh, okay. Doesn't really seem like you learned much of a lesson there.
Yeah. One of my favorite things, though, is like he goes to the happy hour. We've been talking about it.
Maybe
in the
best
first
moment in the
5
movie.
minutes. Well, the first 10 minutes are Splash.
Right.
Once we meet him and he has the pirate fight, one of the first things he says is, "I'm late for happy hour."
Yeah, and he's like, permission to come aboard. He's like the ultimate badass. And you're like, here it is, the fucking coolest dude ever, right? And he goes to a bar, and then the badass bikers are like, we don't like your kind. Some shit, you know, they roll up. And you think they want to fight him. He's like, you want something from me? He's like, actually, can we get a photo? And
Wait, are
there's-
you the Aquaman? We
Yeah.
hear in this scene, the TV in the background says some have called him the Aquaman.
yeah.
And they're like, are you
And
the
his dad's
fish
like,
boy?
"Is that you?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's me."
Yeah.
Because they're like, what are you, some fish boy? It's a fish man. You know?
Now,
It's fun. It's
Jason
fun,
Momoa
It flips it because
is-
even in Deadpool, he fights the whole bar.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and this is like, nah. He's, you know.
Now, Jason Momoa is sponsored and does have a personal love and passion by Guinness. Now, did you guys notice the number of Guinness products in the background of that bar scene?
I did not. I usually do.
I'll have to look out for it on my
Let me
next
tell you,
viewing
Aquaman's
notice.
having a very good time.
I like to try to figure out who paid for this movie, but I didn't see the Guinness this time. I should have.
Which I'll tell you, I'll watch this movie again when it hits
think so?
HBO.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
enjoyed it. I think it's definitely worth checking out. Even if you're a casual fan, there's so much action. It's
Oh, it's
well shot.
pithy, it's fun.
And I just want to say that moment when they take the selfies, it's like that's the movie saying we're leaning into the goofiness. We showed
Yeah.
you this badass. He's grabbing machine guns. He let a guy die. He's so brooding. But then it's like, we're not doing the bar fight. We're going to have
Yeah.
some selfies and become best friends. And it's like, this is the movie. It's fun, Aquaman. Let's go.
Yeah.
That tacked on with Splash with Nicole Kidman is, there you go. This is the
It's
tone.
fun.
And they ride that wave the whole way. And
the
it's,
whole way.
Oh yeah,
So then, like,
well,
to
we get this.
summarize
We
the-
get the setup for the adventure. Is that what you're about to say?
Well,
like
to
the entire
summarize
quest.
the rest of the
Yeah.
plot, it is a quest, an adventure. He
Lion
doesn't
King.
want to be king. Just kidding. I gotta be king. And then a fight that happens in 2 minutes. The end. That's it. That's the whole movie. The whole movie is just an adventure
Running around.
with these two running from place to place.
Yeah, it's like he is told he needs to assume the throne. He's resistant to it, and then bad guys be badding it up, and then he has no choice but to take the responsibility.
The bad guys just like pop out of nowhere. They're just
Yes.
like, sneak attack, I'm here.
Every
Right
time
when it
they
gets
know where
boring.
they are.
They're like,
Yeah.
do, 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 do.
like exposition, blah blah blah, fight scene. You know,
Ay, ay,
This
ay.
movie never gets boring because every 5 seconds there's an explosion
Yeah.
after 2 lines of dialogue.
and the Power Rangers do show up. It's
Yeah.
so great. They got these suits filled with water. It's really
What
cool.
okay, so can
Very
someone
cool.
explain to me what that was?
I assume
Were they in there?
Yes.
So Mara's just cutting people's limbs off like it's nothing?
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Okay, and
Yeah.
then they dissolve into
They're kind
water?
of brutal people. No, they were breaking them open almost like space suits. That was their breathing supply.
So
was
why
the
do
water
they need
inside
a
there.
breathing supply?
This has come out as some fans are confused. There are early lines where Mara, when she comes to meet him at the bar, says, "Highborns can, of course, come to the surface just like you." So these are
okay.
soldiers.
So they're just like,
yeah.
they're
Run of the
just
mill,
putties. They
Scrubs.
can't survive.
But we meet
yeah.
some very interesting creatures. So let me ask you guys your different opinions on the physical effects, special effects that make up the other species of the Atlanteans. We meet the Brine Kingdom. They're the crab people who we eventually go to war with. Thank you, South Park. We meet the Fisherman Kingdom. This
Very
is
cool.
the people that they try to make the treaty with. And, of course, then we meet the Trench, the monsters.
I love the Trench.
You know, the weird...
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Lovecraftian, yeah, totally. All 3 of them. They're
very Bloodborne.
Practical, totally. CGI. Did you guys like them?
I thought okay, so let's just go scene by scene with this one real quick. There's three to talk about, right?
Okay.
So the fisherman people, Patrick Wilson walks up and was like,
Hello.
"You guys, you're fucking trash. You're a bunch of dummies." To a mermaid.
Yeah.
And the mermaid's like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't think that."
I think
He
we're
just
very
fucking
kind
shanks
people.
him.
Oh
Yeah.
my
He
god!
just shanks him in front of his daughter and then is like, "We're gonna do this. Fuck you."
And it should be said, Patrick Wilson has no lines in this movie that don't end with him very grandiosely telling his plan like this. And you're like,
Ocean
okay.
Master.
Yeah, and
Oh,
you're
how
like,
many
well,
times does he say
alright.
ocean?
I love it.
It's like,
It's
I'm the
very
ocean
interesting.
master.
Slam a Guinness every time.
Oh my God.
Ooh, we got some Aquaman drinking games that coming up.
man.
I loved the way the fish people looked.
Yeah.
Very cool.
The crab people
Crab
looked so
The Brine Kingdom. I understand in my mind why he didn't go to a treaty with them first, because not to sound like a racist, I want nothing to do with those people.
Well, here's the thing. There's a point where like Patrick Wilson and the King of the Brine are like
Dolph Lundgren. Oh no, I'm
King
sorry,
of the Brine.
Zeeble. Dolph Lundgren
are having a conversation, and they keep cutting to close-ups of the crab guy whose face doesn't move.
No,
there's no emotion to it. You can't see his mouth moving, and it's just like, why would you do that? Why is this not just a one-off where they're like, and you know, a 2-second scene where you just show them taking over that army?
And they knew what they were going for, because
the crab people whose mouths don't
The Crab
move.
People's Union of Hollywood, they need a full scene.
Yeah, we need representation.
It was so
Oscar push.
terrible.
But they
It
know
was
what
so
they're
much
going
longer
for
than the
with
fish
that.
people.
I know, but they know what they're going for with that universe because they're drawing from Lord of the Rings characters. That's Gimli, who voices the King of the Brine Kingdom.
Oh, wow. See, I didn't realize
It
that.
looks so terrible, though.
But the
Yeah,
trench,
not my
though, how
favorite.
about those guys? That is
The sequence
Spooky.
beneath where
That's
they
James Wan.
take the trigger, jumping down. Oh, that is James Wan. Horror, the lightning, the storm on the boat. You know, we get just the darkness of the sea. Unfortunately, then we go into the hidden sea where you see dinosaurs. That really bugged me.
It's Journey to the
But
Center of the Earth.
The trench
all
were
of a sudden.
cool. Yeah, I really did not like
Or I'll
that.
tell you what it is. It's the Power Rangers movie where they're getting attacked by the like
then they
bird
meet
people,
Ninja Lady.
and then they meet
You're right.
Ninja Lady, and it's
Yeah.
it's
The
it's
hidden
his
world.
mom.
100%.
Yeah.
You're
Wow,
100%
you're right.
Can we talk
There's
about?
a lot in common with Power Rangers movie and the Aquaman
Can we
movie.
get James Wan to do the next Power Rangers?
Oh, I wish, man.
Give me that.
I want to talk a little bit about the script and how every 2 seconds, that's an exaggeration, every 6 lines of dialogue, someone mentions that his mom is dead.
Oh yeah, and it's from Will Beall. He gets a writing credit. He's the guy who did the first Thor movie, guys. So obviously they were like, oh,
He's the guy who did. Okay.
Well, Thor is the most fun Marvel character. Not maybe the first movie.
no.
No, but the first movie, it's the same jokes. He got to
Yeah.
write the same jokes twice.
Yeah, you know.
I'm just jealous. Both movies are. I think Aquaman is more fun than Thor 1.
I agree.
It's not more fun than Ragnarok. but
This
it's more fun
feels
than
like
Thor 1.
Ragnarok to me overall, but Ragnarok's a little more fun. But it's like the DC Ragnarok as far as tone.
See, I hope the next one's even more like Ragnarok. It's just that Jason Momoa is fun to watch.
Here's the danger we're getting into, though. We're saying, oh, I wish this DC movie was more like a Marvel movie.
I know.
And that's what I get a little bit concerned
Me
about.
too.
Like, did I like it because it felt like Marvel? And if so,
Marvelization. That's so
No, because it
stupid.
didn't. I don't make that comparison because I like both sets of characters. I like both universes.
Mm-hmm.
I would not say that Civil War is light and fun. You know, I would not say
True.
Infinity War is light and fun. Infinity War
true.
had a similar tone to Justice League. It just did it better.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
So let me ask you guys a bunch of questions about a future Aquaman 2, which is most assuredly happening. James Wan
It is happening.
says
They're locking in a script. and
He says he
script.
just needs a better script to come and commit to it. Very interesting.
Wow.
But
this
going
script was
forward,
pretty bad.
very bad. What do you want, villain wise? Who else could it be? Obviously, they set Black Manta up, so maybe it's a more personal story. Maybe we'll get a time jump with him and Mara having children. But how do you kind of have a threat when he has control of the Karathin, the beast that I could imagine could eat Superman?
I'd assume, yeah.
And so set us up where this leaves off in the post cred. We have Black Manta in the hospital, and then fresh off the boat,
Is on a boat.
on a boat,
Fresh on the boat.
fresh on the boat. I can't remember the actor's name.
Randall Park.
Randall Park. Yep. So, and he was also an Ant-Man and the Wasp.
He was just in such weird moments of this movie where
I did not like his performance, unfortunately.
It was
It's
terrible.
Dr. Shin, who is
Yeah.
a pretty big DC Aquaman character. So very cool connection there, but no.
But we can get the upgrade. So yeah, what happens? Does Black Manta come back? We get,
Is he
2.0?
missing an eye?
Right.
He's definitely missing
Does he
an
cut
eye.
off the hand of Jason Momoa? Now he can only hold one Guinness.
I think
What a shame.
there's one
I want him to
Black
cut his hand
Manta
off.
scene.
Bad. Really?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it's the chase. That's it.
well, you don't like the montage where he spray paints his armor black to a rock song for some reason?
Oh, dude, that is so weird and so good.
What a weird moment that was. And it's a Duran Duran
Isn't it like
song.
I'm coming
he's
for
just
you or
like,
something?
Yeah, he's just like jamming out and like, motherfucker, I'm about to fuck you up.
Just vibes, man. I've got to get ready to kill Aquaman. This is my jam, dude. I love it.
And then he gets like a cannonball wrapped around his neck and falls like it's
Nothing.
and
yeah,
well,
he just gets
it looks
punked, dude.
so silly.
Yeah.
because it's just like they're like gong, 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 gong,
Why would you even fish him out of the water? How could you even find him?
How could he survive that?
I don't know. He would break his neck.
He'd break every bone in his body. He gets flipped around like 9 million
Well,
times.
again,
if
he's
Darth-
just a
so
dude.
silly looking.
But Darth Maul survived on the power of hatred alone. Maybe he has the similar
Maybe
ability.
he's a Sith.
Yeah, I love the way the suit looked, by the way. I want to touch on Black Manta
loved
quickly.
how the
Beautiful.
suit looked.
Fucking awesome.
Beautiful
Black
suit.
Manta has such a cool look, and I think they pulled him off perfectly.
Guys,
I think he looked
Ocean
great.
Master's mask moved like
How
Deadpool's.
fucking cool was that?
Yeah.
I
He
love
emoted.
that.
I thought he looked great.
Yeah, Ocean Master looked great. Momoa looked great. You know, once
Momoa's
they
suit
took the
looked
vest
great,
off of him.
dude.
Because you remember in the
And
beginning of that movie...
he wears so many chains on himself, guys. And he wears so many bracelets that are made of like leather and beads.
Yeah, in the beginning of that movie, he looks like the lead singer of like an Aerosmith cover band. And like he's wearing like a leather vest underwater. And it's just like, man, what the fuck is this?
Pretty cool.
And then they have the bar scene and say, we're being goofy. Just kidding.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, where do we go from here, right?
Is it going to make $1 billion? You know, Aquaman 2. People loved it. I think people are going to love this too. Up the sex factor, if you
Up
mean
the
like
sex factor.
cast another character in that who's just like fucking Aqua Woman to Tallulah, I believe, who becomes the Temptress or the girlfriend to Aqualad. Make those some. Sorry, everybody. Hot teens, because I think that's the way to get like 1.5 billion. I think they found their market. Make it fun,
That's
make it
2.5 billion
sexy.
for each hot teen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think so.
The Atlanteans are these otherworldly, right? Of course, they're the most beautiful. Like, I mean, yeah,
It
roll
makes
with
sense.
I want it to set up the Legion of Doom.
Dang.
It was teased in Justice League with Deathstroke and Lex Luthor. Have Black Manta go to the two of them and be like, look, I want to kill the Aquaman. I know you guys got money. I know you got skill. Help me kill the Aquaman.
I know where
And I'll
Atlantis
help
is.
you kill who you want
Would
to
you
kill.
like the sequel to be a co-run show, how Marvel does with some of their movies? Would you like another DC character to have a big role in it? Say it's a buddy show with...
I wouldn't, because it's
Batman.
already such a buddy show with
Because of Mara.
Yeah,
she
she's great.
really takes the
But I would
spotlight.
like multiple villains to be a part of it.
Oh, by the way, Mira, she eats a flower because
Yeah,
she
that
never
was
saw
really
one.
cool, yeah.
And then he's just like, okay, and he eats one too. Anyway.
I'm casual. I wear
Yeah,
jeans.
exactly. He's just trying to make her feel
Like,
comfortable.
all right, yeah, I thought that was a cute moment, romancing the stone, but
Oh, there's so many moments where it's like, she's like, he's like, her fish ship, he calls it, is like in a trash barge, and he's like, I'm not getting in your smelly fish ship. Sorry, I keep doing that every time.
That's how he
it's
talks.
just too fun not to.
Yeah, you have to do it.
And
Jason
she's
Momoa.
like, it'd be better than you smell right now. And he like goofily sniffs his armpits underwater and is like, ooh, she's right. How could he?
Oh my
What
God.
the fuck?
yeah, the Guinness sweats.
Oh,
But yeah, I think that's great. Get Black Manta, like, I couldn't do it. Let's go to the Justice League. Like, I know where Atlantis is. Fuck Aquaman. You got money.
yeah,
Let's do this.
I really want the
He needs backup.
Legion of Doom. Fucking set it up. Use Aquaman 2 to lead into Justice League 2.
I think that's a perfect way to get anticipation for it too, because people actually like
love
Aquaman.
it.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great.
And like the biggest problem, other than a terrible script, which reminds you Nicole Kidman's dead every 2 seconds,
Yeah.
and a bunch of other terrible lines.
Power Rangers had really bad scripts too, but that's
yeah.
not what you're there
They
for.
rise
But
above,
the
baby.
action and the performances and the effects were relatively okay. I do have a bone to pick with, like, people don't like the G.I. Joe movie, the first one.
Right.
It's the same movie. The same, like, action figure beat 'em up. People, like, and it doesn't look any better. Like, Cobra's
Right.
mansion underwater at the end of
Yeah,
G.I. Joe
Oh,
movie
I forgot they had
looks
all the
the
water
same as
stuff.
Atlantis.
You're right.
Yeah, and, the Ring of Fire is kind of a cool set piece, though, because either they come in the room and it seems like a tiny arena.
He's like,
and
what do
then-
I do? Kick your ass in here or what?
And that's just the elevator, and they got this stat screen. It says outsider or something.
Yeah, how much they love Orm too.
Yeah. So it's like this WWE event in the Ring of Fire. We've been waiting for.
He's alive. Will he be back as the villain, or maybe that's the two-hander? Does he take a Loki role? Does he have sort of a redemption arc, Ocean Master, going forward?
Don't redeem
It's
Ocean
you and
Master
me.
already. It's
Okay,
too
you
soon.
think so?
Him and
too
Black
soon.
Manta could even be like, man, we
I would love
really
that
hate
too.
Aquaman.
I would let him sizzle for a while and then put him in like
Get a prison
post-cred.
scene,
Yeah.
Aquaman too.
Oh yeah, he comes back out. Well, I definitely recommend the new Aquaman movie. It is the most
Thumbs
fun
up.
DC movie. Thumbs up for me. Check it out. Watch it. You probably already have if you heard this, but
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed it as well. And what did you think? Let us know on Twitter.
It's a ton of fun. I really would go check this one out, and it gives me a lot of promise for the future DC movies. Shazam looks like it's going to have a similar energy. Really hoping we see
Yeah.
that energy from 1984.
Give me that crossover.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, man.
Seem to be having fun.
The only thing I'll say is, like, come on, give me that Matt Reeves Batman movie and give it to me now. Because if this is the tone and this is the energy, I want to ride that wave, baby. I'm ready.
It's a lot of fun. You know, it's a fun movie, but I want to talk about something that's a little bit less fun, and that's some of the video games related to Aquaman, and we're going to go over there and see if we can make a splash. Hey, yo, Normies, we are back, and we're talking Aquaman video games, and as I alluded to earlier, some of these are pretty bad, but there's also some good appearances, too. So, what do you guys think? Have you played these? You know, everyone knows that Battle for Atlantis is pretty much considered one of the worst games ever made.
Legendarily bad, almost like Superman 64. No, I have not. This is something I bypassed at Blockbuster all the time, right, you guys?
I mean, again, you couldn't, when I was a kid, and not even a kid, I guess teenager, you couldn't pay me to play a fucking Aquaman game.
I love comic
way.
book characters. I would run to get Batman Sun Z or, you know, all
Batman
those other
Sun Z,
things, you know, any of those things.
Batman, the new animated
Yeah,
series
exactly,
game.
the best.
I forgot
But
about that.
when I saw him on the cover, I would just think like, no fucking way. But we've watched the YouTube videos. We've
Yeah.
sort of gotten our hands. It's a GameCube game. You know, that sort of platform era, early Xbox, things like that, PlayStation. It sucks. It fucking sucks. He looks cool when
It's the
Zack
Total
Snyder...
Justice era.
Yes. Totally. It's that 90s awesome thing. But remember when Zack Snyder released the first look at Jason Momoa when he first cast him, the Unite the Seven, the picture, and it had the shoulder armor only, you know, the strap over. That's what he's wearing.
Yeah.
You know, again, don't say that he's not a comic book accurate Aquaman.
Oh,
Yeah.
he is. He's got the hook hand in the game, and then you can do like different shit with it, like that he never does in the comic.
Like,
book.
you can, like, throw, like, you pick up objects in the environment to
Yeah.
whip around, and, like, it has a grappling mechanic.
Yeah.
And he swims, he moves through the water. It's kind of like a 3D, almost like that N64 Superman, like we said,
Yeah.
moving, flying ability that he has. But then it also
You just put
becomes-
bubble effects on everything, and all of a sudden we're underwater.
We're breathing.
Yeah.
But it also moves into side-scroller world where it becomes these sort of terrible boss fights of pitting against slow-moving action, dodging little bolts that come at you. You know, there's a zillion games like this from our use, and this is an example of a very, very bad one of
It
those.
feels like you're underwater when you play it too. Like, it's so
It's
slow.
moving
Just
slow.
watching it,
Yeah.
yeah, it is sluggish.
It
so
is
we'll
waterlogged.
definitely put a link for it if you want to check it out. But it's legendarily bad. It looks like it's the same engine as Superman 64, but it's like
Even though
the
it's
next
like-
console generation.
It's literally like 5 or 7 years newer than that, which is kind of
yeah,
sad.
it's crazy.
You
So
get
that's
the best hits. You fight Black Mana. You know, you fight some other one of his
And the others.
the
villains.
lava troll,
Ocean Master.
you know.
Some of the Outsiders, which is kind of a cool Aquaman, a team up thing that he's done before. But
I don't know who
it
they made this
sucks.
game for.
No,
I don't know who they made this game for. I don't know who bought this game.
he didn't have fans at this time. That's the weird thing. So for a company to take such a gamble, why wouldn't you just take the mechanics and say, we'll make it an original IP, we'll make it this? I understand the idea that maybe you'll get 10, 20 more people who like Aquaman for it, but this was not the year where that was going to pay off for you.
This would almost turn you off of Aquaman for life.
yeah.
Luckily,
You might poison the well.
You literally poisoned the well. Earlier, you got here Justice League Task Force. You guys play that?
Yes.
Yes.
So this was one of my Sega games that I would play all the motherfucking time. And guys, he looked like this too.
He has the
Again.
hook hand again.
Oh yeah,
That's the
but again,
90s. It's his
the shoulder
contemporary
armor, the
look.
strap, long hair. Again, not very familiar with him at the time, but as an Aquaman fighting game badass, and he's got the trident that he could whip out and slash Superman, and you're not really thinking about weaknesses and stuff like
Right.
that. He was a cool character to use. He shot water, he did distance stuff, he did melee stuff. That's awesome.
So it's a side-scrolling
Beat him up.
1v1.
Yeah.
It's a beat 'em up or
No,
versus?
sorry. It's just a versus, you know, fight.
Gotcha. You know, you mentioned the trident, but he doesn't even have that in the Battle for Atlantis game. That's like his iconic thing, right?
No, they really went into the fucking hook hand
right?
aspect.
I don't know. Maybe you get it later in the game, but I'm not about to find out.
No.
I don't think we're gonna make it that far into the YouTube video.
Right. And well, then back to the fighting game line, though. However, you know, we have the Injustice series made by the Mortal Kombat studios, and those are excellent.
Dude,
He
Joe,
is-
that's where you love to play as Aquaman.
He is one of my favorite characters to play in Injustice.
So you like kind of he's one of your mains on that.
the trident is fast and has a couple really cool moves. You know, like you can do slashes below to pop people up. It's got a nice uppercut. It's got a good 3 jab. Really fun mechanics. He's fast. He's one of the faster players. He feels faster than the Flash, to be honest.
And that makes sense because he
Weird.
has to move through water and he can swim so good that on land it's like he's just taking off the weight vest, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And when you do a finisher move with him, it's a ton of fun because it's just basically like, all the animals of the ocean coming up. It's a cool little cutscene.
There's like a great white shark will come out and snack on him and stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
In Injustice, he's voiced by veteran voice actor Phil Lamar, who voiced the character in the animated series. I mean,
so
they're
there's a lot
again
of fun
respecting
familiarity
that.
there.
Yeah, and his look is a lot different. He doesn't really have the long
No.
hair in Injustice, right?
You can
because he was
kinda-
going off the New 52
Yeah.
look, and then that universe, Injustice became its own thing in comic books after the popularity of the first one, so you couldn't really, in the second one, just retcon it to be like, oh, now he looks like Mamoa, although they do have events and shit where you can get the gear of each person, so you can put on the Momoa suit, even though he still looks like him.
Okay, because, a lot of these games will have different skins and stuff. They could probably just add that in, but...
They could, but the way the mechanics work in Injustice, and I think it's pretty ingenious, is you earn different gear pieces that have different abilities. Like there are, I think 15 to 20 different tridents you can get. Each one has different stats.
See, that's a little tough for me because I think fighting games shouldn't have equipment. I think you should have the character moveset and then it's all on the player executing those abilities.
Does it make you feel better to know that when you play online, none of the stats matter? It's just a aesthetic thing.
That makes me feel better.
Okay, so yeah, that's how it is when you play online.
I'm with you on that.
Okay, that's fine.
I just like the customability.
It's the
if you
customability
like the
that's really
Jason
cool.
Momoa Aquaman, you get the gear for his head, but you say, I want to wear all the old weird armor from this period. You can unlock that too.
You just
Mix
have to
and
try
match.
to find it. It gives the game playability in my mind.
Okay.
Because there was a day where it was like, man, I really want the way they do skins is essentially just different colors for different gear, right? So there was a orange and green
which are legendary
skin.
or something
that was
like
just
that.
really hard to get, but it was like, I would like to have that. I'm gonna sit down and try to earn it. I'm gonna play all these matches as Aquaman. That to me gave it more life
replayability,
than any other fighting game I'd ever played.
And we know you're a skin collector based on
like that
Ed
term.
Gein fandom. And no, the Spider-Man game.
Skin collector.
Yeah.
I do love the
You
Spider-Man.
like to get all the
skin
costumes. No,
collector,
it definitely adds some longevity to the game because fighting games, let's face it, the single player can be thin. So at least that gives you some motivation.
Yeah, to keep
Let's
it
get
going.
a Normies Like Us t-shirt that says skin collector.
I really hate how you
On the
guys
back,
keep saying
Normies Like Us.
Yeah, keep saying it. Yeah. And then you guys mentioned. I'm looking at the list here. We have DCEU. You guys play DC Universe Online before?
So famously back in the day, we were obsessed with, and I think everybody was.
I played it too, but not with you guys. I was on it though.
I'm just even talking about the mini cutscene that came out before, the first-hand video that they dropped, where it was the whole premise, Lex Luthor comes back in time because blah, 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 the Justice League's dead, and he's going to help you, and here's all the missions. I've never really played it, unfortunately, other than that, but I was obsessed with the idea of those, and any of those online worlds with those comic book characters seemed very cool.
Yeah, so it seems like there was like factions that you could join. So he could be one of your mentors and stuff like that. You could join the Joker. You could join like.
And you
Bruce
did it.
Wayne.
You created a character.
I created
you
a
ran
character.
through it all.
His name was Gigantor, and he had a big G. He was the biggest, bulkiest, like tank guy, and he was
Sure.
basically the Hulk. Like he can run, jump far, and like punch. But you could be like a speedster. You could be a physical fighter. You could be like a magic user, basically like a beamer, like Cyclops or something. So you kind of picked your archetype. Or you could be a technophile, like someone who uses gadgets, like Batman or something.
Yeah. I was a Night Spider. It was basically Spider-Man and Nightwing.
Oh, dope!
Nice. I wish I had a picture of Gigantor because I thought for sure.
I feel like a nerd for not getting on this, guys. I love that you played it.
Or PlayStation.
I just-
It's available on PlayStation, Colin.
I played
It's
it on
still running.
PS4,
Oh, I might
PS3.
jump in right now.
It's on PlayStation 4.
Yeah, you just install it. It's free.
Yeah.
I got to the basically the cap where like the gear that made you better you had to like pay for or whatever.
doubling
That's
down.
when I
It
stopped.
does hit that point
Sorry,
where it's
baby.
like, do you
Not
want to
gonna
meet all
happen.
of the other Green Lantern characters? Just pay us $4.99
No.
per adventure. It's
I'm like,
eh.
nope. But me and my cousins
gonna
played that
happen.
together. I was so surprised that I got Gigantor as a name because like you figured it'd be like Gigantor 1728. Like,
Yeah.
that's a good name for a fake hero. I didn't hit any fake characters, but so Aquaman's in there. I see also the Lego DLC.
Kind of the last thing to talk about. This is the only thing that's really Aquaman the movie based. This is DC Supervillains, the latest Lego iteration that they've done, has a Aquaman DLC for the movie where they bring in not just the villains, because of course the spoilers, I guess, the twist of that game is that you can play as the heroes as well. But they bring in Aquaman, they bring in Black Manta, Ocean Master, all that stuff. Looks very cool. You know, I love those Lego games.
Yeah, dude, you're the number one fan of the Lego.
I get very suckered
game.
in. I love the variety of abilities that they allow you to play with. The fact that it's kind of just an open world Grand Theft Auto where I'm Iron Man and I'm blowing stuff up, but they look stupid. I get it. If you can get over the general aesthetic of Lego, you could love the world that it's building.
I wonder if anyone's ever taken one of those games and just modded it to be not Lego.
Unreal Engine.
Interesting, yeah.
Lego's Supervillains Unreal 4K, where everybody is rendered up. Fucking show me that.
Yeah, right. Shout outs to Lego, by the way. Everyone's like all Disney, but they are creating an empire. Like the ability to use all these licensed characters in their properties and their movies. You have Batman in a Lego movie, like now a new one, right?
Yeah,
Like
we
the
had the
second
last
part.
movie where Han Solo just came up, and we should say this is coming out of a time where people just kind of saw early reviews for the Lego second movie, and it's rave reviews again. People say it's fucking great.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's a franchise like who would have thought?
Who would have thought that Lego would become this tour de force? But back to Aquaman. So we have these games here. What do you think is the definitive Aquaman experience? Is it Injustice? Is that the most fun to be Aquaman that we have currently?
It's sure. I mean, it's not really like
You don't have a lot of
definitive
options.
You're not
Aquaman
swimming.
experience, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
But it is the most fun, I would say.
It gives
to
you the
play
ability
him.
to really make, again, the Aquaman that you want. I would say something dumb like the Lego games where I can be
You're swimming
a
in that,
water-based
dude.
character,
Talk to
go
fish.
underwater, use his powers. Obviously, we're not going to recommend you go back and do the GameCube one just about him because
Don't play it.
that's not the definitive Aquaman.
Yeah, the one thing
Maybe
about it
they'll
though,
work
that's
on
kind of
something
cool
new.
is the cutscenes are just comic book panels.
Yeah. And there's a lot of voiceover text.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they took the CG models and just posed them and just text over video.
Like at that point, why not just use comic book
Just,
stills?
yeah,
Because
draw a
they're
picture.
terrible models.
Yeah, they look very bad.
They're bad. So watch it as a lesson on how to make a game that is bad, but do not play it. Injustice, good stuff for fighting. The Mortal Kombat guys, they're awesome right now. We got Mortal Kombat 11 coming out soon.
yeah.
And as we said on the Halloween episodes and stuff, it would be great if they just had an only horror fighting game. Why do they have to be in the Mortal Kombat universe? We can do it with DC. We have Mortal Kombat. Anyway, that's
Injustice
It was the
will-
spin-off that worked from the Mortal Kombat worlds, Injustice.
Same
Injustice
engine.
will make Aquaman feel like a badass more than any of these other
There we go.
games.
That's
a
a good
killer.
one.
Because it's hard to feel like a badass as a Lego character.
I know. I feel
I
it.
beg to
I get what
differ.
you're saying.
But like when you destroy Superman as Aquaman without getting hit, it feels pretty cool.
Nice. Well, I think that's about it on the video game side for Aquaman, and we're going to go ahead and see how we can wrap this thing up on the other side of this break.
That was a SEA, not
That-
SEE.
Yeah, that's
Do you
right.
get it? Do you get the fun?
Yeah, that's right.
Aquaman. Aquaman. No one greater than Aquaman. King of Atlantis, king of the sea. Where the danger is, that's where he'll be. Always defending you, yeah, you and me. Aquaman. He can swim faster than the fastest thing in the sea or on the land.
Ayo, Normies, the tides have turned, and we are back to wave goodbye to you beautiful listeners.
I'm sunken. I'll tell you guys. I'm missing talking because, I said at the top, I don't like Aquaman. I'm excited about Aquaman for the first time ever. If that doesn't make me a fan, I guess I don't know what will.
I can't believe you just said that sentence. Like I never thought this would be the character. I'd be like, yeah, he's cool, man. I
He is
like him.
cool.
He wears
Yeah,
jeans.
I never thought. Well,
He does wear jeans.
I wear jeans. I've had Guinness. I think Aquaman is my guy. No, it's amazing though that somehow this Mamoa Aquaman, the success of the film, and just really reinvigorating the interest in this character in the DC universe. I was always like, fuck Aquaman, much like Robin. Fuck Batman.
for real.
But now I'm like turned around. I studied his history for this cast with you guys, and like there's some fascinating stuff there.
Oh, yeah.
If you go dive below the surface of what you think he is, there's some cool storylines. And I think he's a cool character, and I never thought I would say that.
And you got to wonder what WB's response will be to this.
And they tried to make that TV show. They made the pilot, and it was one episode and canceled. So now let's see if you bring that back.
Yeah. Alan Ritchson from Titans, who plays Hawk right now, was Aquaman in the Smallville TV show as well. Raphael. You got to wonder, I mean, is something like Young Justice, Titans Season 2 going to get an Aquaboy character now because he's doing so well in the media, because he's so liked? I mean, Wonder Girl was introduced last season. That wasn't something people were clamoring for before Wonder Woman was a massive success.
Right. You get that's who the crossover will be. We'll get Wonder Woman to create some tension with Mira and Aquaman.
Probably. And when I said earlier that we need a sexier character introduced, maybe it's Gal Gadot, the most beautiful woman ever created. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, guys. But I'm excited about Aquaman, and I'm glad that we kind of talked something normie that is new normie for us too. You know, we hit the niche on him, but he's such an unfamiliar character, and I feel excited for fans because we're all kind of getting him at the same time.
Absolutely. And if you want to dive into the comic books, now is an incredible time. There are only 2 issues into this latest arc where he's an amnesiac. I don't know where it's going to go. It's really early to tell, but the promise after Drowned Earth that this would be a new era for Aquaman. So if you like the movie, you want to get in on the comics, now's a good time to do it. Just pick up 43 and 44, and 45 will be on the way soon. And we got a Mamoa book coming, so that's pretty cool.
Really? Yeah. I mean, you know, the ship has set sail on the new dawn of DC Universe movies, and
we're all aboard.
I'm all aboard. Yeah. I got my suitcase. I'm locked in. I'm ready to, I brought my oranges. And For scurvy. So I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go on the Mamoa ride. Bring Gal Gadot there. It's awesome. It's fun. I can't believe that I would say this, but damn, I'm excited for the future of Aquaman.
All right,
I think we'll be saying the same thing when Shazam comes out.
Oh, you think so? All right, let's hit our shit that real quick for the future of DC. $billion?
Not $1 billion.
Not $1 billion. Though, but not $1 billion.
Maybe Venom numbers?
I think
Venom did $1 billion, right?
Venom did $1 billion.
It did very close.
That's right.
I don't know. It might. I think it's going to be a hit. I'll be honest. I think it's going to be a hit, and I think it's going to be critically a hit as well. I think people are really going to love this one.
Well, part of the Colin's theory on how to make a successful Aquaman movie was putting beautiful people in it. The large draw, too. Like, the ladies love Jason Momoa. The guys want to be Jason Momoa. Mira, I'm blanking on her name.
Amber Heard.
Amber Heard, right? I mean, you're getting...
I want to be Amber Heard. Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Because she gets to smooch Jason Momoa. Yeah. Like that, you could sell tickets that way, let's be fair. So maybe Shazam has a little bit of that less sex appeal.
Yeah, they're fighting against it.
But it's fun. It's being marketed as funnier, I think.
Yes, definitely.
And a children's movie, so maybe they kind of draw that
audience. When you can take the whole
audience.
family, too.
Yeah, that's always
DC,
helpful.
When you have Batman cutting Superman to see if he bleeds.
Yeah.
That's not really something that you get the family for.
No,
Why'd you say that name?
Why'd you say that name?
Well, that's kind of it for us here. Check us out, of course, at all our socials. Hit us up at Normies Like Us. Reach out to us about future episodes of stuff you'd like to cover. We love talking again about weird stuff that we haven't really sort of gotten our eyes on, like Aquaman. But how about this now, guys? Should we do a little Super Bowl prediction?
Oh, you're right. That's coming up.
We got that coming up. The episode after this, we will be posting the results. And of course, we're football guys. You've heard our fantasy struggles. Didn't really turn out good seasons for all three of us here, but
it could have been worse.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be
how
Rams,
can it be worse?
Patriots.
Jacob won.
Yeah, that's the darkest timeline. Rams, Patriots. What do we think here?
I really don't like Tom Brady and the Empire.
Yeah.
And we're in LA. It'll be fun to see a party for the LA home team. Let's go Rams.
Let's go Rams. It's got to be the Rams.
3 for 3 Rams.
The new guard coming in. Let's go Rams.
Yeah, let's go. The end of an era. And the rematch of the beginning of the dynasty could be the end.
Yeah, exactly. There's some good built-in drama.
And the young and the old.
Exactly. I think it's a better game than the Saints game would have been. Saints-Patriots. I think the Rams-Patriots is going to be a more exciting game.
They're going to get the Ram Jam. So let's see. And next week, we're going to be talking all things Nintendo. So be sure to tune in for that. If you're a video game fan, it's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll see what happened at this Super Bowl.
Yeah, and the easiest way to reach out to us is just if you go to the Instagram page, you can click email. You can reach out to us directly from there. So any episodes you might want to hear, just let us know there.
Yeah, we've gotten some requests from listeners before that we have turned into episodes, much like our Power Rangers episode, etc. So go back and listen, and be sure again to follow on Twitter and Instagram. This has been Mike.
Colin.
Joe.
Thanks, Normies. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
My man. Oh, hell yeah. This is Aquaman, and if you enjoyed that episode, I'd really appreciate it if you give it a like, share, and subscribe on iTunes, and you'd really be one of my man if you share with a friend. We'll be seeing you around. Round. 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 Round.